Hey folks, welcome you all to a new session. This is CA Ganesh Bharadwaj. So let's get started with the first chapter, which is called as basic concepts, right? So we'll get started with the first chapter. Please write down chapter 1, basic concepts. To the maximum level, I will also try to follow the color coding when I am writing all these notes. Okay, I would expect you to definitely follow it. Okay, I need not keep telling you this. Maybe initially I will just walk you through, then and there I will remind you. But make sure that you are always following the color coding part. Right? Now, guys, let's get started with this. Now, I want you to take your handbook. Right? So please take your handbook. Now, if you see in our subject, costing, we have a total of 15 chapters. Okay, we have a total of 15 chapters, right? We have a total of 15 chapters. Now, if you look at this, chapter number 16 is something called as costing theory, right? That is, there is no separate chapter called as costing theory in your study material. Each of these 15 chapters, they have some theoretical aspects. I have compiled it separately and put it as a separate chapter in our handbook, correct? So this costing theory is not a chapter by itself. There are only 15 chapters in our study material. Clear with this? And chapter number 17, I have called it as MCQ. MCQ will also be chapter wise. Okay, so inside this, if you go and see, you will see that this is going to be chapter wise. Okay, so in this 17th chapter that I've called as MCQ, once again that will be chapter wise multiple choice questions. So basically how I planned the lectures is, as and when we finish a particular chapter, right, we will also look at the theoretical part and the MCQ part, so that practical part first we will cover, right, and then numerical problems we will do, that is a major part. Then theoretical part and the MCQ part will also be covered, so that chapter wise we finish all the aspects, right, and you're ready for the exam. Clear with this? Now, this first chapter, the basic concepts alone, if you look at your institute study material, they have called it as Introduction to Cost and Management Accounting. This chapter is actually whatever I have kept here. This basic concepts is not at all similar to the chapter number 1 of your study material. Sir, why, sir? I have included this on my own. Reason is there is a certain way to learn the subject. Sir, why can't we start with the chapter 1 of our study material? That is a hardcore theory chapter. It's a hardcore theory chapter. There will be things like costs versus costing versus cost accounting versus cost accountancy. So what is the meaning of that and all? Now, in my opinion, these are certain things that are purely from a theoretical aspect. You can learn it later. There is a logical way to approach and enter into the subject. We are going to enter the subject logically and not theoretically. I told you this is a practical paper, right? So if we do that first, I feel it will disturb your logical flow of understanding. So all those theoretical parts, we will keep it separately. From an examination perspective, the theory part, we will approach it. Don't worry about it. Right now, the major point of discussion for us is going to be what? The practical aspect for the subject, and we will enter into the subject practically. And this basic concepts chapter, you will not find it anywhere in the study material. Whatever we are going to discuss, that is the cream, that is the foundation with which the entire subject is going to be built. Every single chapter that I'm going to take from now on, I will be connecting it to this basic concepts, because this subject is going to be unfolded before you like this. So you should learn the subject only in a certain way. I don't believe in learning it, this theoretical manner. You should learn it conceptually, and I feel this is the right way to learn the subject. Are you clear with this? So yes, this is what we are going to do. We will do something called as basic concepts, and of course, we will also be doing a few sums in this particular chapter, basic concepts. Don't worry. All the concepts are definitely a part of your syllabus. It is not being coined as a separate chapter. That's about it. These are some extra value addition that you are getting from the lectures, because there is a way in which you should learn. Many students miss out on this. They enter directly into the subject, and that's when the subject becomes a headache. I cannot explain the importance of this beyond, because this is such an important chapter, not from an examination perspective, but this is the base on which the subject is built. Let's say you want to construct a building. You are saying, I don't want the ground floor, straight away build the first floor. Can you build the first floor in the air? It will not. You cannot do it without the foundation being set, right? It is like this foundation. It is not seen. It cannot be seen like that. The importance cannot be seen just like that. It can be felt throughout the entire course of this particular discussion. It is like oxygen. Can you see oxygen? No. But its presence can be felt. Without the oxygen, you cannot live. Something similar to that. So this is a basic concept from which we need to start the subject. Trust me, it's going to be very interesting. You should look at the subject from a certain perspective. The problem is students look at it differently. Generally, they learn directly from cost sheet or they learn it theoretically. Please don't do that. At least you guys don't do that. You learn it in this way. Automatically, the subject will be easy, right? From the scratch, we will be seeing. I will be giving a lot of examples and handwritten notes. Your running notes, please take it then and there. I will ask you to take it up then and there. You should take it. Clear with this, guys? Right. Now, I have given this contents, right? This contents. Chapter wise, I've given you the page numbers and all. I told you we have 15 chapters. Chapter 16 is theory. Chapter 17 is MCQ, right? I thought of giving these two as separate books in volume 2, volume 3. But anyways, I just thought of no need for that. We can just merge it here. Overall, I think this book comes up to around 500 pages or something less around that. Okay, you can just see that. Now, the main part here is I have done something called as syllabus mapping with the institute study material. Sir, what is this? Now, I will not be going in the same sequence in which the chapters are present in your institute study material. Clear? So first we will study basic concepts. Then we will go to a chapter called cost sheet. Then we will go to overheads, ABC, your cost accounting system, and so on. I have my own lineup in which you will learn the subject. Simple reason. Again, there is a way in which you should learn the subject. There will be a connect. So it's technically like we will create a universe inside this. So I will be linking. So if LCU universe, we like it so much, right? What is this guy's name? Lokesh Kanagaraj. If he creates one movie, we connect Vikram with Kaidi and all, and we say, wow, what a great invention. Look, we can connect something like that here also, and we can learn things, right? For those who don't know, he's a Tamil director. But anyways, coming back here. So this is basically, we can create a universe, beautifully link the chapters with each another. In fact, we can link this with financial management also. Okay, I will tell you more about this. Your FM starts where your costing stops. So costing, and once costing stops, FM will begin. These two are actually an extension of each other, but the approach and all will be slightly different. I'll get more about this as we enter into it. Clear with this, guys? Now, not just that, costing is also linked with certain other subjects also. For example, it is linked with accounts. In a place, I will tell you how it is linked with the law. Then we will see how it is linked with taxation. See, to a limited extent, not like completely. So if you learn this accordingly, what will happen is, so whenever you're studying something, you can see the big picture. Yes, I now understand why I'm studying all these subjects as a part of my course, because these can be interlinked beautifully and studied together. Clear with this? Now, I am going to take you down to this particular subject in a particular sequence. So in this, I have mentioned the chapter sequence, the chapter number in our handbook. Handbook is the book that you guys have got. Clear? 1 to 16 I have kept. Anyway, 16 is a theory chapter, right? Now, for each of the respective chapter that we are studying, I have also given the chapter number in the institute study material. For example, cost sheet, if you take, it will be the second chapter in our handbook. But if you go to the institute study material, it will come under chapter number 6. Are you clear with this? Basically, we will be covering all the chapters, and costing theory, it's not a separate chapter as such. I told you, all the chapters we will just be clubbing it together, and the theoretical portion will be seeing it later on. Are you clear with this, guys? And this basic concepts also, technically it is not chapter number 1. But I just wanted to relate it to chapter number 1 because it's a way in which you introduce. So don't think that if I finish this basic concepts chapter, all the things in the institute study material in chapter number 1 is covered. No. Chapter number 1 is a pure theory chapter in the study material, and I don't want to introduce this subject to you by way of theory. No, we will see that later. I am not saying I'm going to avoid it. We will see it later. Right now, we will look at it conceptually. This syllabus mapping, are you clear with this? So whatever chapter you have got, simultaneously, you can find out the chapter number in our material. You can also spot the chapter number in the ICI material. So if you want to compare anything, or if you want to look at the study material once and all, you can know readily which chapter is in which which particular topic is in which particular chapter of the study material. Clear with this? This I call it as syllabus mapping with the institute study material. Clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Now, shall we get started? Shall we get started? Yes. Now, The first thing that I want to tell you, is about a concept called as cost versus price versus value. Please write it down. Cost versus price versus value. Cost versus price versus value. First, you should know the difference between these three. The problem is we tend to use these words. No, these three words has different meanings altogether. I will explain it. Shall we get started? Take a blue ink and catch up running notes. Take a blue ink and catch up running notes. I will give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example, very relatable example I will give you. Now, how many of you have tasted rasna in your childhood, in your schoolhood childhood days? Have you guys tasted rasna? Yes, that orange color flavor, mango flavor and all. They have a lot of flavors, lemon flavor and all. Now we are going to take that example. of rasna to understand this concept. Now, let us say, this rasna is manufactured. You know the one dabba they give, correct? Inside that, if you open, the dabba only looks big. There will be two sachets. One will have a powder, one will have a thick liquid and all. You know, I don't know about you guys, but during my childhood days, what I used to do is, we used to keep it as a project and we used to pour that in a big vessel, put a lot of sugar in it, keep that syrup. Whenever we want, we will, pour it and we'll mix it with water and have. That used to be a fascinating project during our summer holidays. That's how I used to do. Fine. I hope that is the case with most of us during our childhood, especially if you're a 90s kid, you would have definitely enjoyed it. Now, this particular rasna, let us say, now this rasna has to be manufactured in a factory. Guys, yes or no? Yes. Now, let us say it costs 100 rupees to manufacture one pack of rasna. Who is manufacturing this? A producer, a manufacturer is manufacturing it. Some company, okay, they are manufacturing it. Unilever or some company, okay, let us take some company, they are manufacturing it. How much it costs to manufacture one packet? Come on guys, answer. Come on, 100 rupees, right? Now, you are asking your mom to go and buy one pack of rasna. Where will she go and buy? She will not go to the factory. Where will she go? She will go to a, yes, come on, answer. Nearby shop, and she will go and buy. Let us say she pays 125 rupees to purchase this particular rasna packet, right? So 125 rupees is what? The price she pays to purchase the product. Clear with this? Now she comes home, she prepares you and she gives you this one glass of rasna she gives you. You drink it and you feel like it's even worth giving 1,000 rupees to get this beautiful experience, right? Right guys? So now you attach a value to it. You say, I can even spend 1,000 rupees to enjoy this glass of rasna. Yes or no? Yes. Suppose you are running in temperature. You are having fever. Your mom gives you a chilled glass of rasna. Will you even be interested in drinking it? Come on guys, tell me. Will you be interested in drinking it? No, right? At that point of time, you will say, no, the value that I attach for the same glass of rasna will be 0. Yes or no? Guys, are you clear with this? What am I saying here? Cost is always looked at from the perspective of manufacturer. Cost is always looked at, please write down, from the perspective of manufacturer. Price is always looked at from the perspective of consumer. Price is looked at from the perspective of consumer. And any guess? Value is looked at from the perspective of? Yes, user. Are you clear with this? This actually, value is something that is looked at from the perspective of user. Are you clear with this? Now, don't tell me, sir, I only went to the shop and I purchased and I only prepared and I drink. In this case, you are both a consumer and a user. Clear? Fine. As simple as that. So always remember this. Cost is looked at from the perspective of whom? Come on. Manufacturer. Price is looked at from the perspective of consumer, and value is looked at from the perspective of user. Are you clear with this, guys? Catch up running notes. I'm not going to dictate, or this is not present anywhere. Fine, clear with this. Now, cost is looked at from the perspective of manufacturer. There is a prescribed guideline. Certain set of rules are there to arrive at a cost. Are you clear with this? So for you to arrive at a cost, there are a set of rules that you need to follow. Now you guys know accounts, right? For accounts, you can prepare anything, like sales. You are purchasing some you are making some sales on credit. Entry will be debtors account debit to sales, correct? No, I want to credit the sales account. Can you say like that? No, there is a specified rule in which you do. Who prescribes the rules for this? Accounting standards. You have something called as accounting standards, correct? Similarly, in costing, we have something called as cost accounting standards. Are you clear with this? This cost accounting standards is prescribed by whom? The Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India. Are you clear with this? They prescribed certain standards, and these standards tell us how to arrive at a cost. Or in other words, these costs, you cannot say, I arrive at the cost differently, you arrive at a cost differently. No, cost needs to be computed in a way in which it has been prescribed by whom? By the cost accounting standards prescribed by the CMA Institute. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to follow this? Yes? Now, whereas price is not followed by set of rules. Price is determined by market forces. Price is something that is determined by market forces. For example, you have big billion day offers on Flipkart. The same product that is sold for 100, you can see it being selling for 75 rupees. Yes or no? Guys, yes or no? There's something called as price discrimination. Have you heard of this word, price discrimination? No, at a time when there is more demand, what these guys will do, they will tend to sell it at a more cost. When there is no demand and all, they give some unusual discounts to make the people buy the product. Yes. So this actually price is determined by the forces of demand and supply. So basically it gets determined by market forces. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? Whereas if you look at value, there is no basis for you to arrive at the value. You will feel that it's worth paying 100 rupees for one glass of rasna. I might not even like rasna. I might feel that I will give you 100 rupees. You go. You don't even come near me. Then the value is minus 100. Correct or no? Yes. Or in other words, when it comes to value, there is no specific principle in which you arrive at the value. It is very subjective. Correct or not? Yes. Subjective means what? It differs from person to person. So there is no specific method to arrive at the value, or in other words, we can call it as being subjective. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with cost versus price versus value? This is not going to come as a theory question or not. What I'm asking you is to understand what is the difference between the two. Generally, we tend to interchangeably use this word. What is the cost of this? Or we'll say, what is the price of this? Technically, these two are different words. Cost is looked at from whose perspective? Manufacturer. And there is certain set of guidelines in which you should compute the cost. Correct? Whereas price is looked at from the perspective of consumer. And it can be what? It gets determined by market forces and all. And value is highly subjective. There is no prescribed principle to arrive at the value. What might seem more valuable for you might seem lesser valuable for another person. Are you clear with this? And now in our subject, we are going to study about cost. Are you clear with this? So please be very clear. Cost is different from price and value, and our subject is dealt with what? Cost. Are you clear with this? In our subject, cost is the relevant factor that we are going to study. Guys, are you all able to follow this? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes? Shall we move to the next concept? Now, what is the next concept? The second concept that we are going to study is cost. Sir, we are going to study cost. Yes. What do you mean by cost? You should know, right? What do you mean by cost? Yes, what do you mean by cost? From your understanding, tell me, what do you mean by cost? Come on, quick. What manufacturers spend to produce a product. Okay, how about you? You tell me, what is your perspective on cost? Oh, but you tell me.
What is the expenses involved
what is the expenses involved. So basically we think that cost refers to expenditure. That's what we generally think, right or not? So basically some expenditure that I'm spending. Yes, from the perspective of manufacturer, I get it. Fine. So basically any amount spent is called as a cost. That's what we all think, right or not? Yes. Now go to your handbook. Go to your handbook. Please go to your handbook. Okay. First thing, basic concept, the first thing that I've explained. What is cost? Cost means the resources sacrificed for the purpose of carrying on business or profession, which can be quantified in monetary terms. Now basically leave all these things. For you to call something as cost, it should have three characteristics. What are the three characteristics? Sacrifice of resources. There should be a sacrifice of resources. It should be relating to your business or profession. And number three, it should be quantifiable in monetary terms. Now, sir, what is all these things? Don't mug up. I will give you an example. You guys catch up running notes. Give you an example word by word. I will give you an example. Catch up running notes. You will have crystal clear clarity. Fine. And that's the reason why I'm telling you this is the way to enter into the subject. This kind of definition is not there in the study material. All these things I will be linking as we proceed into the chapters. Are you clear with this? Now, so costs should have how many characteristics? How many characteristics? How many characteristics? Three characteristics. What are the three characteristics? Sacrifice of resources for the purpose of business or profession and quantifiable in monetary terms. Now, let us break this one by one. Let us break this one by one. The first aspect of this is what? Sacrifice of resources. Sacrifice of resources. Let me give you an example. Example what? Okay, let me give you an example. Guys, write it in your own language. I don't mind. You scribble this blue ink item. I don't mind. It should be understandable for you. Clear? Initially, I will go a little slow, but understand that it has to go at a certain pace. So again and again, I'm telling you, listen, process, write. Whenever I'm giving an example, automatically your hand should write. Your pen should not stop. Clear with this? Example number one. Let's say you have finished CA, right? And you are sitting in the campus for placement. You know, there's something called as campus placement, right? Once you finish CA, you can sit for this campus placement. Many companies will come and interview you. Clear? Right. Now in this campus placement, let us say you got two job offers. You got two job offers. What are the two job offers you got? Company A and company B. Okay, let us say two companies, ITC Limited and Hindustan Unilever. Okay, two companies, company A, company B. Company A is telling you that we will give you a salary of 1 lakh per month. Okay, company B is saying we will give you a salary of 1.5 lakhs per month. Assume that work timing, work culture, the work nature, everything is same in both the companies, correct? Only difference is what? This particular salary. Forget costing. Right now, you tell me which company you will choose. Which company you will choose? B. Which company you will choose? Company B. Why you choose company B? Why did you choose company B? Come on, tell me. Why did you choose company B? Huh? Salary? Salary is higher. So you choose company B because the salary is higher. Correct? Absolutely right. But you know what? You indirectly used something called as cost benefit analysis while doing it. See, day-to-day decision without even knowing, we actually use costing. Sir, what is this cost benefit analysis? I will tell you. Now simple guys, let us say I am choosing company A. If I choose company A, now you tell me what is the benefit that I get? What is the benefit that I get if I choose company A? Every month I will get 1 lakh rupees. Yes or no? I will get 1 lakh rupees. Yes. But what is the cost? Because I am choosing company A, I cannot work in company B. Correct? So company B, had I joined, I will be getting how much? How much? 1.5 lakhs. So can I say the cost is 1.5 lakhs and the net benefit if I choose company A will be negative 50 lakhs, negative 50,000. Correct or not? Or in other words, you see there is a cost as well as a benefit to every alternative that you take. If I go for company A, benefit is what? I get 1 lakh. Cost is what? I lose out 1.5 lakhs. Yes or no? Now you tell me this 1.5 lakh what you need to pay out of your pocket every month? Huh? 1.5 lakh you need to pay out of your pocket? No, but still it was relevant for our decision making. Are you clear with this? This is called as, there is a concept called as opportunity cost. There is a concept called as opportunity cost we will be studying, but this 1.5 lakhs is relevant for your decision making or not? Yes or no, guys? So basically, cost not only includes your expenditure being spent as such, it involves any kind of sacrifice of resources. This 1.5 lakhs is a sacrifice. Yes or no? Guys, yes or no? Yes or no? So it is not just about only if I spend money, I'm incurring cost. No, if you're making a sacrifice, it means that you are actually spending a cost. So it actually, cost is a broader term. It includes what? Sacrifice. The word sacrifice includes expenditure. Let's say you are paying some money, correct? 100 rupees I'm paying. That is also a sacrifice. No, you're sacrificing 100 rupees, correct? So don't say cost refers to expense. Use a broader term called as sacrifice. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes? Am I clear with this? Any doubts till now? Any doubts till now? So cost refers to what? Sacrifice, right? Are you clear with this? So the first part of the definition is what? Sacrifice of resources. So don't just say that I need to shell out some money to actually incur a cost. No, it's not like that. Even if you sacrifice, in this case, it is called as cost. Clear with this? There is a concept called opportunity cost. Now, opportunity costs are every time we will consider when to consider, when not to consider. That is the next discussion we will be doing. Clear with this, guys? First, are you clear with this? And second, what is the second part of the definition? Relating to business or profession, right? So we did the first example. Second, let me take example number 2. Relating to business or profession. Let us say you are running a company, okay? You are running a company, right? Or you are a chartered accountant, right? In practice, a practicing chartered accountant. Let us say someone comes to my firm, okay? So I run a firm. Let's say someone comes to my firm. They are asking me for a donation, okay? Now, I gave them a donation of, let us say, 10,000 rupees. I gave them a donation of 10,000 rupees. Now, you tell me, is this a cost for me or not? Is this a cost for me or not? Guys, quickly think and tell. Is this a cost for me or not? Is it a cost for me or not? Yes. Is it a cost for me or not? No. It is not a cost for me. What do you mean by cost? Any kind of sacrifice that I make relating to the business in which I operate. This was something that I did out of gratitude. Now, am I going to get any benefit out of it? This, I didn't do it as a businessman. This I did because I'm a gentleman, right? I did this because of the gratitude that I have. Are you clear with this? So, don't think any sacrifice made is automatically a cost. It should be relating to your business or profession. Are you clear with this? So, not all sacrifices are cost. That sacrifice should be made in relation to your business or profession. Are you clear with this? This donation example, are you clear with this? Guys, are you all able to understand this? Yes. Now, can I go to the third example? Can I go to the third example? Yes. What is the third point? What is the third point they are saying? Come on, look at it, tell me. So what they are saying, it should be quantifiable in monetary terms. Quickly catch up running notes. I'm just giving you 10 seconds. Whatever left over, you just write it down. I'm giving you 10 seconds. So online guys have this luxury of pausing it, but you guys, you need to, catch up these running notes then and there. Yes, done. Quickly. But guys, online guys, I'm telling you, please don't pause. If you pause and you do it, then again, what happens is you will get used to that same speed only. So don't do that. Catch up to the speed. I know it will be difficult. Somehow try it. Come out of your comfort zone. That's when you will be able to achieve the results. Quantifiable in monetary terms. Monetary terms. Fine. Let me give an example for this. Quantifiable in monetary terms. Now, let us say there is a company. Okay. Let us say there is a company. In this company, there is some guy called as managing director. Have you heard of this? Managing director? Yes. So in your company law, it goes on to define who a managing director is, but in colloquial terms, we know that every company has a managing director. Yes or no? Now, what happens is, this guy, managing director, he says, every day I come and I work to office for 9 hours. Correct? Every day I come and I work to office for 9 hours. Let us say this guy is saying, I am coming to 9 hours in working in office. If I don't come to office, I can spend this time with my family. Correct? This guy is saying, look, I am making a sacrifice. What sacrifice? I'm sacrificing my family time and coming and spending this time for you. Anyways, I get paid. That is different. So for the work he does, he gets paid. But he's saying, I am sacrificing my family time. Correct? For business or profession? Absolutely yes. For working only. Now, you have to pay me for the sacrifice. Apart from the work that I did, I am sacrificing my family time. You pay me for that. It is absurdity. Now, it is a sacrifice. Yes. Relating to business or profession. Yes. Can it be quantifiable in monetary terms? How will you sacrifice his personal time and give a monetary value to it? Yes, I can say that pay me 1 crore rupees. You will say I won't even pay 10 paise, right? It is subjective. It cannot be quantified in monetary terms. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? Catch it up. Catch up running notes. Just write this down somewhere in a way in which you can understand. So it is not enough if it just a sacrifice and it is relating to business or profession. It should as well be able to be quantified in monetary terms. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand? So this guy is saying, I'm sacrificing my family time and I just want to you need to pay me for this. No, because this cannot be quantified in monetary terms. Are you clear with this? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes, guys. Done. Come on, little fast. Come on, try, you can do it. Done. Put it in a way in which you can understand. If you want to draw something, draw it, whatever it is, you should understand. Tomorrow you look at it, it should be understandable for you. That's why deliberately, see, it will not take me much time to actually put all these things in writing. I am deliberately not doing it because this is how you will get the best learning experience. For me, it is easy for me also. I need not keep shouting it again and again. You look at the material, you go. But this, you will thank yourself for a lifetime because you're writing it in your own language. That is how it is. That's why I said your handwritten notes are meant for you. Clear with this, guys? Yes? So now, without looking, tell me, what are the 3 characteristics of cost that we saw? Come on. There should be a sacrifice. Yes. That should also be relating to business or profession. Is that enough? No. Then it should also be quantifiable in monetary terms. Now, if someone asks you, you'll be able to say, yes. So cost is not just an expense. Why? Sacrifice. Example, job, company A versus company B, job offer, right? Then we saw that it should be relating to business or profession. Any donation made by me to the trust, no, it is not a cost. That is a gratuitous payment that I've made. It is not relating to the goods or services that I deal in. Correct? And then finally, it should be quantifiable in monetary terms. The managing director's personal time, sacrifice and all cannot be attached to monetary value. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes. Now, this is the first fundamental understanding of where we are actually entering into the subject. So first, set your context right. Cost versus price versus value. And we are entering into cost. We now saw what do you mean by cost, the attributes of cost. Clear? So cost has a bigger perspective. It has a broader meaning. Don't think cost means expense. No. Cost has a broader meaning. It refers to sacrifice. Now, in certain areas, it refers to only expense. In certain areas, this concept of opportunity cost will also come in. When you should include what, I will tell you as we proceed. Clear with this, but have an open mind that cost is not just an expense. It refers to sacrifice made for the purpose of business or profession that can be quantified in monetary terms. Clear with this, guys? Yes, you need not mug it up. Logically remember these 3 examples. You just remember, anytime if someone wakes you up and asks you even in the midnight, you must be able to handle it and tell it to them. Clear with this, guys? Now, very important part. This is the backbone for the subject. Please write down. It is already there in your study material. I mean, the material that I have given you. And this classification is not there anywhere in the study material, but this is the way to learn it, right? Please write this down. Very important. This is the 3rd concept we are studying. Cost classification. Cost classification for the purpose of, can write all these things in a black ink because I'm asking you to write down as I am writing. So write it down in a black ink. Right? Cost classification for the purpose of slightly increase your speed. Okay, branch it into 3 parts. Branch it into 3 parts. You guys are able to see the screen? Yes. Branch it into 3 parts. Left side most of the chart, write down in caps. Write down in caps. Stock valuation, write it fully. Stock valuation and profit computation. Please write it fully. I am writing a short form, you write it fully. Stock valuation and profit computation. Stock valuation and profit computation. Stock valuation and profit computation. Done. Middle, the second side of the chart, write down decision making. Write it in caps. Decision making. Decision making. Decision making. And the third side, the third branch of the chart, write down control. Write it in caps, please. Write down control. 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 Yes, stock valuation, profit computation, decision making, control. Right? Okay, so somewhere you can just write this down. You write this as number 1. You put this as number 2. You put this as number 3. Please do the numbering. Number 1, number 2, number 3. I will tell you all these things. I will connect everything. Don't worry about it. Clear? Now, first chart, first side of the chart is called as what? Come on guys, participate. Stock valuation, profit computation. Pull an arrow down. Pull an arrow down and write A, expired and unexpired costs. Expired and unexpired costs. Expired and unexpired cost. Expired and unexpired cost. Right? Line gap, write down B. Product and period costs. Product and period costs. Line gap C. Manufacturing, administrative, selling and distribution cost. Selling and distribution cost. Manufacturing, administrative, selling and distribution cost. Leave 2 lines gap and write down D, unit cost and job cost. Leave 2 lines gap. Deliberately I am asking you to leave 2 lines gap and write down unit cost and job cost. Done guys? Done? Have you written down all the 4? Expired, unexpired, product, period, manufacturing, admin, selling, and finally your unit and job cost. Done? Now go to the second part of the chart. Pull an arrow. Write down A. Variable costs, semicolon, fixed costs, semicolon, semi-variable cost, hyphenated word, semi-variable cost, semi-variable cost, write it fully, semi-variable cost, semi-variable cost. Line gap B, sunk cost, and C, opportunity cost. Do you know what is opportunity cost? We have already done it. Yes, anyways, I will just give you a briefing when we are hitting opportunity cost. Clear guys, right? And then last part, the third part of this chart, write down there is only one. Controllable, CONTROLLABLE, controllable and any guess? Controllable, uncontrollable. That's all. Uncontrollable cost. Clear? Please write this down. Done? Done? Really? You've noted down? Great. Very good. Right? So now, so we have segregated this cost classification into 3. First side, come on, tell. What is it? Learn like a child. Come on, tell. Stock valuation, profit computation, then decision making, and then control. Stock valuation, profit computation, I have given something. Expired cost, unexpired cost, product cost, period cost, then manufacturing, admin, selling, and finally unit and job cost. And here your decision making component, variable, fixed, and all I've given, sunk cost, opportunity cost, and finally control, that is uncontrollable and uncontrollable cost. 1 second. What you do is take a pencil and pull an arrow here. controllable and uncontrollable costs. Pull an arrow here. Will be learnt in a chapter called as standard costing. Will be learnt in standard costing, right? So right now we will be focusing on the first two, 1 and 2. The third part, controllable and uncontrollable, it's more of a theoretical understanding. More details about that we will learn along with standard costing. Don't worry about it right now. See, you should know what to read at what point of time to read, right? Right now, if I say everything, then it might confuse you. We will just learn it in a very structured way. Now, before all of this, sir, cost is a cost. Why have you given so much level of so much level of classification and making our life miserable? See, cost is always a cost only, no? Here you are calling expired, unexpired, product, period. Then here you are calling variable, sunk, opportunity. Cost means cost only, no? So many types of cost are there. So which cost I should take for which purpose? So which cost I should take for calculating, for doing my sums and all? I can understand you will be having this doubt. Now, first of all, what is the heading? Cost classification for the purpose of 1, 2 and 3. Now, we will first understand what do you mean by cost classification. What do you mean by cost classification? Again, catch up running notes. A very typical example, very relatable example I will tell you. With this example, you will now able to understand. Guys, this is the backbone. Again and again, I'm telling you, if you don't learn this, costing will be a nightmare. It will be very difficult. The part here is students don't know how to approach the subject. This is the base. We will be seeing why we are learning this subject. Without this, you cannot proceed further. Clear with this. Are you guys clear till now? Yes. Now, cost classification, I am just giving you an example for that. Okay, let me just erase this off. Cost classification, let me just give you an example for that. Now, have you guys been to an airport? Okay, no problem. So, you know, airport is generally meant for people who travel by air, right? Now, unlike your railway station, in your airport, you cannot just board the aircraft just like that. There is a procedure for you to board the aircraft. Just in case you don't know how this airport thing functions, not a very great thing and all. I'll just tell in brief. Now, generally who uses this air mode of transportation? Human beings, correct? Of course, at times animals are also getting transported. That's different. Generally, human beings, right? You know, there's one movie called Nai Shekara. Your movie actually came in Tamil. Looks like that dog, they had to take it, import it from the US, it seems. For that, they spent about 10 lakh rupees just for the dog. If it is a human being, it costs only about 1,50,000 from US, because the dog, they will vaccinate it, they will do something and all that, they will ensure that it's safe. Anyways, forget about this dog's thing. I'm just talking about human beings. Generally, human beings only travel, right? Why am I saying this? One student said, generally human beings travel. He said, no, sir, I have seen dogs travel. Serida, right? Okay, I understand you have made your point. Now, coming back to the discussion. Now, it's the same human beings that enter an airport, right? Now, there is immediately once you enter into an airport, there is something called as security check. Security check. You know security check? Yes, there will be one box kind of an entrance. You will have to go metal detector and these guys will do frisking and all. You guys know that? Now, if you see security check, they are checking who? Human beings only, no? But if you see in the security check, there will be two lines. What two lines? There will be ladies and gents. Correct or not? Guys, yes or no? Ladies and gents. Security check is done for human beings, but separately for ladies, separately for gents. Correct? Now, once this security check gets over, then every person will come together. Yes? Now, let us say you are traveling abroad, foreign. Next thing that you will face is a place called immigration. Have you heard of this? Immigration. In immigration, what they will do, they will check for your passport and other foreign documents. Now, in this immigration also, there will be two lines. These two lines will not be what? Ladies and gents. These two lines will be Indian citizens and foreigners. Why? Here they are not bothered whether you are a man or a woman. They are bothered only if whether you are an Indian citizen or a foreign citizen. Why? Because the immigration process, if you are an Indian, is different. If you are a foreigner, it is completely different. So here, the purpose is to check your citizenship, correct or not. So here, the classification of male or female is not irrelevant. Whether you are male or female, I'm not bothered. Indian or a foreign citizen, that is what is the, I'm being bothered about. Are you clear with this? It is the same human beings only. Here they classified as ladies and gents. In an immigration counter, they are classifying us as what? Indian citizens and foreign citizens. Are you clear with this? Then once that immigration is over, you will go to a place called boarding gate. Okay, this boarding gate is a place from where you will enter into the aircraft. In this boarding gate also, there will be a discrimination. There will not be a single gate, you know. So in this gate, in this boarding gate itself, they will have multiple categories. They will say first class passengers, business class passengers, then economy class passengers. First class passengers, they will be allowed. They will have a red carpet and all. So these first class passengers, basically what? These rich fellows, whoever has, if you pay more money, I am not bothered whether you are a man or a woman. I am also not bothered whether you are an Indian or a foreigner. Based on your ticket is what I am bothered about here in this boarding gate. Yes. So I will say, if you are a first class passenger, red carpet welcome. Business class passenger, carpet at least will be there. Carpet welcome. Economy class passenger, one the air poor all of that. So no respect for you. So basically, on a jovial note, but basically here again there is a classification. This is not done based on your gender, not based. This is not done based on your citizenship. But here I am classifying the very same set of human beings based on the ticket they have purchased. Yes or no? Now you tell me, ladies and gents, Indian citizen, foreigners, first class, business class, economy, all of these people are human beings only, no? Guys, all these people are human beings only, no? Then why do we have a separate classification? Because the purpose that I want to achieve in a security check is different. Based on the purpose that I want to achieve in a security check, it makes sense only if I classify human beings as ladies and gents, correct? Here I'm not bothered about whether you're a first class passenger or a economy class passenger. For me here, it has to be done because ladies taking procedure is different, gents taking procedure is different. Here, for me to achieve this objective of security checking, what I need to do, it needs to be classified in a certain way. In an immigration counter, I have to check your foreign documents. Here, the classification needs to be done as an Indian citizen and foreigner. I am not bothered about your gender or I'm not bothered about how rich you are by purchasing which ticket. No, yes or no. And similarly here, the gate, I am least bothered. This airline company is not bothered whether you are a male or female or whether you are an Indian citizen or foreign citizen. If you have paid them that ticket for the fee based on the fare, they discriminate you. Yes. Or in other words, can I say, classification is always done based on the objective that you want to achieve. Yes or no. Or in other words, the purpose that you want to achieve defines the kind of classification you made. In all these cases, it is human beings only. But why are we looking at human beings in these different ways? Because there are, in this case, there are different objectives to be achieved. Yes or no? Similarly, in our subject, costing, we have 3 objectives to fulfill. What is the name of our subject? No, cost and management accounting. We have 3 objectives to fulfill. What are the 3 objectives? Stock valuation and profit computation, decision making, control. Are you clear with this? Now, if you look at the theory in study material, they would have mentioned 4-5 objectives. Theory part, please park it aside. From a theory perspective, I will tell you how to prepare. Practically, there are 3 objectives, and every single chapter that we do will land only in this branch. This is a fundamental to understand. And don't think that, sir, we are going very slow. Don't think like that. Initially, it has to be like this. You will just see the pace that we catch up. If the more time you spend on the fundamentals, lesser will be the time you spend then and there in the deep areas. You mark my words, that's how it's going to be. But without this knowledge, you cannot enter into the subject. Clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Now, what are the 3 objectives of a subject? Yes, tell me, come on, tell me. 3 objectives of a subject. Stock valuation and profit computation, this is one objective. Decision making, this is one objective. Control, this is another objective. Or in other words, can we say, we are studying this subject called cost and management accounting because we want to achieve these 3 objectives. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, in your financial accounts, that is the accounts that you guys have studied till date, right? Costing is something that you learn for the first time in your intermediate level. Before this, you might not have studied costing at all in your life. In financial accounts, what is the objective? Preparation of financial statement. That is the only objective. You have one objective, correct? Sir, then which means costing is superior to financial account. No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying that subject is meant for a different perspective. Only one perspective, that is preparation of your financials and presenting it to the end users. Correct? You should present it to your shareholders, get it acknowledged in your AGM and all that. You need to file it off. Correct? Whereas here in our subject, our objective is not to prepare financial statements and all. Our subject itself has 3 objectives. Correct? Now, certain chapters in our subject help achieve objective number 1, that is stock valuation and profit computation. There are certain chapters in our subject that helps achieve objective number 2, decision making. There are certain chapters in our subject that helps achieve the objective of control. Now, the problem is students don't know that there are 3 objectives in the subject. Now, if you are looking at a chapter like marginal costing, right? There is a chapter called marginal costing. That chapter squarely fits into the category of decision making. Now you tell me, if you want to achieve decision making, this chapter marginal costing, just an example, this helps you achieve what? Decision making, correct? In this chapter, the very same cost has to be looked at from the perspective of variable cost, fixed cost, and variable cost. It should not be looked at from the perspective of expired and unexpired. Are you clear with this? So when you are actually taking a concept that achieves the objective of decision making, then cost should be looked at from the perspective of 2A, 2B, 2C. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? No, sir. There is a chapter called as cost sheet that we will be seeing. This chapter helps us achieve the objective of stock valuation and profit computation. Now, from the perspective of this chapter, whether the cost is fixed or variable, I am not bothered. It should be looked at from the perspective of 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. Are you clear with this? So, every chapter I will tell you which is the objective that we are going to achieve, based on which you should know which point of view you should look at the cost. Are you clear with this? This is where students miss out. For marginal costing chapter, they look at product cost, period cost. Obviously, that is not relevant. Why? Because the objective that marginal costing achieves is different from the objective that a cost sheet chapter achieves. Clear with this? So, first of all, understand that all the chapters will not achieve all the objectives. Certain chapters will achieve objective 1, certain chapters will achieve objective 2, certain chapters will achieve objective 3, certain chapters will achieve all the 3 objectives. For example, there is a chapter called as material cost. In material cost, certain concepts revolve around stock valuation, profit computation. Certain concepts revolve around decision making. Certain concepts revolve around control also. So concept wise, you should know from which perspective you should look at cost. Guys, are you clear with this? That's why every time I take a concept, I will tell you what is the objective. I will redirect you to this particular tree, this particular branch, and I'll tell you, since this is the objective we are going to achieve, you look at cost from this perspective. If this is the objective we are going to achieve, look at cost from this perspective, and so on. Are you clear with this? Are you all able to understand this? Are you all able to understand this? Now, I have not even entered into what are these 3 objectives. I'm just telling you our subject has 3 objectives. Based on the objective that a particular concept needs to achieve, cost should be looked at from that perspective. Are you clear with this? So if you want to achieve the objective of stock valuation, profit computation, you should not look at cost from a variable cost, fixed cost perspective. You look at cost from this perspective, expired, unexpired, product, period, and I will tell you what this is and all as we enter into it. Are you clear with this? This is the reason why objective wise we have classified the cost. Now, does it make sense for you? Now, does it make sense for you? Clear with this? Now, what is the first objective I told you? What is the first objective I told you? Stock valuation and profit computation. Excellent. Now, first objective is what? Stock valuation and profit computation, right? Please catch up running notes. Guys, all these things are nowhere in the study material, nowhere in my handbook also. You cannot find it anywhere, right? This comes only by way of classroom discussion. The fundamentals, you need to get it right, hit the nail on its head. No one can take away the subject from you. Now, stock valuation and profit computation. Sir, what is this objective? So, the first objective of our subject is what? Stock valuation and profit computation, right? Now, we are studying this subject for 3 reasons. We want to value the stock and compute the profit. That is one objective. Second is decision making. Third is control. We are talking about the first side of the first objective. We are talking about the first objective, stock valuation and profit computation. Now, you guys would have seen P&L account. Yes, you guys have seen P&L account. Forget costing for the time being. You guys have seen P&L account. In P&L account, how it looks like, you have expenses on the debit side, correct? Sales on the credit side, right? Now, you have closing stock here. Yes, guys, you have closing stock here, right? Now, can you tell me the journal entry for this closing stock? Can you tell me, you guys have finished your foundation? If not in your foundation, you would have definitely finished your BCom. Either which ways only you can enter into this intermediate course. So either in your foundation or in your 3 years of BCom, you would have definitely seen this. Now, forget about costing. Tell me in accounts, this is how your trading P&L account looks like, right? Can anyone tell me the journal entry for this closing stock? Come on, guys, make it fast, make it fast. We don't have time. Come on, think and tell me. What is the journal entry that you get to arrive at closing stock? Closing stock journal entry? No means you don't know. You have not seen it.
Depends on whatever stock you have.
Siri, whatever stock you have?
That will be credited out and you
what is the entry for that?
trading account debit to stock.
Trading account debit to?
Stock, that's it.
Okay. But how did you get this value? See, when I purchase raw material, okay, let's say I'm a trading, forget raw material, I'm a trading company. When I purchase, what is the entry that I pass? Purchase account debit to cash, bank or creditors, whatever it is. Let me just take it as bank, correct? So whenever the materials come into my factory, I track it in a ledger called as purchase account. Now I am selling it. When I am selling it, what will be the entry? Bank account debit to what? Sales, correct? Or in other words, when the goods come inside, I track it in a ledger called purchase. When it goes outside, I track it in a ledger called sales. Suddenly one ledger called stock, where did it come from? Where? Balancing figure. This sales is at sales value. This purchase is at cost value. You cannot say this is a balancing figure. How did you get it? How did you get it? What is the journal entry for stock? What is the journal entry for stock? Remember, there is no journal entry for stock. There is no journal entry for stock. If you notice, that is the reason why stock is always given as an adjustment in your final accounts. What you will do, you will easily plug it in the credit side of your P&L, correct? So if you plug it in the credit side of your P&L, overall in your balance sheet, what will happen? Your reserves and surplus will increase, correct? The left side of the balance sheet will increase. Obviously, then this closing stock, you will also plug it on the asset side, current assets, correct? Balance sheet will successfully tally. Basically, this closing stock figure will be given. You plug it to the credit side of the trading account and you put it in the asset side of the balance sheet, successfully tallied as if you have made your own achievement. But what happened? Closing stock figure was given. Did you pass a journal entry for this? Remember one thing, stock is never valued in financial accounts. Stock is valued only in our subject called cost and management accounting. Are you clear with this? That is why financial accounts itself cannot be prepared without the help of costing. Clear? This figure is readily available in all your final account problems. Know this. Your stock is not valued in your accounts, in your financial accounts. There is a standard called as AS2 that talks about your valuation of stock and all. That is nothing but it tells you what are all the components that can be considered for arriving at the cost. Technically, all of that is covered in costing only. Are you clear with this, guys? So first tell me, what is the journal entry for stock? No journal entry for stock in your financial accounts. I am not saying there is no journal entry for stock in our subject. I am just telling you whatever you guys know. So this stock actually gets valued only in what? So this stock is, there is no journal entry in financial accounts. This gets valued only in your cost accounts. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this, guys? Yes, are you clear with this? Now the question is, sir, why are you able to value stock only in cost accounts and not in financial accounts? Correct, this doubt is there. So you are saying stock is not cannot be valued in financial accounts, correct? Okay, I accept, sir. Yes, you are right. But tell me, why in costing alone you are able to value the stock? Clear with this? That is what I'm going to explain right now. Now, Let us see the difference financial accounts versus cost accounts. Let us say I am purchasing a raw material. Guys, come on, patiently listen. I'm purchasing a raw material. Will you pass a journal entry in financial accounts? Come on, yes or no, whatever it is. Yes. What will be the entry? Purchases account debit to cash, bank, or creditors, whatever it is. Correct? Perfect. Now, I purchase the raw material. I need to convert this into a finished goods. What I'm doing, this raw material, I have it. I am pouring it into the machine. Correct? So I have raw material here. I am pouring it into the machine. Will you pass an entry in financial accounts? Guys, come on. Will you pass an entry in financial accounts? No. Why? In financial accounts, you will pass an entry only if you are dealing with an outside party. Yes or no? That is, company from left hand, if you transfer something to right hand, internally you don't pass any entries. Only if I deal with external people, I pass entries. Purchase, yes, I will pass an entry. Sale, I will pass an entry. But raw material, converting it into FG, will I pass an entry? No. But we pass entries in costing. That is the reason why we are able to value stocks only in costing and not in your financial accounting. Are you clear with this? So for example, in financial accounts, we pass journal entries for purchase of raw material. Correct, guys? Whereas in costing, what happens? Not just purchase, we also pass the journal entry for consumption of raw material. That is, when the raw material is being inputted into my machine, then also we will pass an entry. Sir, what will be the entry? You don't worry about it right now. We will see there's a separate chapter for that. Clear? I am just giving you an introduction. So, sir, why is costing alone able to value stocks? Because every single movement of stock inside the factory also gets tracked, but it gets tracked only under costing. It doesn't get tracked under under financial accounting. In financial accounting, what do? You just book your entry, that is expense recognition, payment entry, you pass. That's all you do. When you pay the supplier, you pass one entry. When you receive goods from him, you book an expense. That's about it. But inside how it is consuming, you don't pass consumption based entries, but only in our subject costing, we are able to track the entire journey of a raw material being converted into finished good. We are able to pass entries as and when a particular raw material is being consumed. Are you clear with this? One more example I can tell you. Here in financial accounts, you pass journal entry for, let us say, payment of power cost. Power bill is there, no? Power bill. Okay, payment of power bill. Whereas in cost accounts, what we will do, we will pass a journal entry even for consumption of power. We will pass an entry even for consumption of power. That is, as a manufacturer, and see, let's say I had plastic, I converted into this pen. Now every unit of pen needs to get valued, correct? So now as and when I produce a pen, I will, in costing, we will track out how much material is gone inside it, how much labor cost has gone inside it, how much other expenses and all have gone inside it. That's how we will be able to associate the cost for every unit. Are you clear with this? But this consumption based entries are not present in your financial accounts. These are present only in cost accounts. That is the reason why stock valuation is an objective in our subject costing. And unless and until you finalize your stock, can you find out the profit? Guys, no. And hence, this objective is also profit computation. So stock valuation and profit computation. So basically your accounts, your financial account itself requires the help of costing. It requires costing support. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? So there is no journal entry for stock in your financial accounts. Only they borrow the figure from the cost accounts. Guys, are you all clear with this? Is everyone able to understand that? Now, once you do this, every unit that you produce, you can calculate the costs for every unit produced. I can arrive at the cost, yes or no? Yes, every unit I will know how much is the material cost, the labor cost, other expenses, whatever it is. Every material is made up of, see, this material for me to produce, let us say it took me 2 hours. On an average, every hour I need to pay a labor cost of 10 rupees. correct? So 2 hours into 10, 20 rupees worth of labor cost has gone inside it. Material, it has consumed 1 kg of plastic. 1 kg of plastic cost me 100 rupees, example. So 100 into 1, 100 rupees of material cost plus 20 rupees of labor from some other expenses, overall 30 rupees. So 100 plus 20 plus 30, every unit of my output should be valued at 150. How will you know that should be valued at 150? Costing only does it. This FM will not, your financial accounts will not take care of it. Are you clear with this? Now, once I manufacture every unit, correct? These units have been produced. Yes, guys. Yes. They can either be, there are only two options. They can either be sold or they can remain unsold. Correct or not? Whatever goods have been produced can only be sold or they can remain unsold. Correct? The cost incurred in respect of units sold is popularly called as cost of goods sold. Have you heard of this word? Cost of goods sold. So the units, the cost incurred in respect of units sold is called as cost of goods sold. The cost incurred in respect of units unsold is called as what? The cost incurred in respect of units unsold is called as what? Come on. Exactly. That is called as closing stock. The goods unsold only remains in my stock. Are you clear with this? And that is how we value our stock here. And once you value the stock, you can arrive at your profit. And hence the first objective is called as stock valuation and profit computation. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? And remember, sir, this is done already in financial accounts. No, this figure is borrowed from us. Clear with this. There is no journal entry for stock in your financial accounts. We only pass, we only track all the expenses, and we only track all the journey, the entire movement. Consumption based entries are passed only in our subject. So what will be the entry and all, don't get too technical about it right now. As we enter into a respective chapter, I will tell you all that. Clear with this, guys? Yes. Now see, generally companies, large companies that have big companies, like let us say for example companies like Maruti or Ford. See, for them to manufacture one car, they need to have a lot of components, correct? For you to manufacture one car, you need, let us say, 30,000 types of components, 30,000 types of raw material, correct? Each type, raw material type 1, 2, 3, like that, every type of raw material, that is one bolt will be there, one screw will be there. Like that, there will be some 1 lakh bolts. Like that, there will be 5 lakh steerings, whatever it is. So you just imagine the volume. Just imagine the volume. 30,000 different types of raw materials are there. Each type of raw material will run into thousands and lakhs. Now you just imagine, is it possible for the financial accountant to keep a track of how much they are consuming and all? It is not possible for the financial accountant. He will just pass entries when they are purchasing it, when they are making the payment to the creditors, correct or not? That's all is his work. So recognition, expense recognition, expense payment, that is all he is bothered about. Expense consumption, he will not pass an entry. Who will pass an entry? The cost accountant will pass an entry. Are you clear? Don't say that I am a chartered accountant, so then why am I doing it? This is very much within your ambit. Clear with this? Clear with this? Yes, are you all clear with this? So that's why companies like big companies, they have a dedicated cost accounting team itself, so that they keep a track of all the materials. See, materials, there are two things. So your stock is there, no? There are two things. Stock, in units you need to have a control. Each of these units should also be given a value, no? That value should also be in control. So stock, if you see, it is not just the units, it should also be given a value. So for you to be able to track this, you need to pass consumption based entries, which is squarely within the ambit of cost accounting, not covered in financial accounting. Clear with this, guys? Are you all able to understand this? And when I say stock, you know there are 3 types of stock. Yes, you know there are 3 types of stock. What are the 3 types of stock? Yes, raw material, WIP, and finished goods, correct? Raw material is basically the materials that I've purchased. WIP is semi-finished goods. Finished goods are completely finished. Are you clear with this? That's about it. More details about it we will just get into as we proceed into the subject. Clear with this, guys? So now basically your financial accounts is what? Your financial accounts is basically your front end presentation, correct? It is basically meant for front end presentation, correct, guys? Whereas what is your cost accounts? What is your cost account? It gives all the information. It gives all the information. It gives all the information for financial accounts as well. Are you clear? Are you guys noting it down? Yes, it gives all the information for financial accounts as well. First, are you able to understand why we are saying that only in our subject it achieves the objective of your stock valuation and profit computation. Are you guys able to understand this? Perfect. Now, shall we move to the next thing, next part? What are the two other objectives we've got? Decision making and control, right? Let me just put these two together with an example. Decision making and control. Now, right, shall we get started? Quickly note down. Yes. Now, what is this all about? If you see, every company, they have something called as board of directors. You know that every company has something called as board of directors. Now, this is popularly known as the top management. Now, what these top management will do, they will have to take, they have two tasks, two important tasks. They need to take decisions and they need to exercise control over the organization. Now, sir, decision and control, what is it? What is it? Decision making, I will give you an example. I will give you an example for decision making. Now, selling price, there is a question for this company. Should I fix the selling price as rupees 10 or should I fix the selling price as rupees 9? Okay. Now this company wants to know, they are going to take a decision. Should I fix the selling price as 10 rupees or 9 rupees? Which one should I fix? Which one should I fix? Which one should I fix? Depending on every company wants to maximize their profit. No, but ultimately what the company wants, maximum profit, right? Simple law of economics. Simple law of economics. Now, if I am fixing the price at 10 rupees, the company knows that they will be able to sell 10,000 units. If they reduce the price to 9 rupees, what will happen to the volume? It will increase. They know that they can sell 12,000 units. Clear with this? Now, which is better of the two? It depends on the cost and all. So, cost data is not given. So, what they do, keeping the price as 10 rupees, they arrive at the profit. Correct? Then once again, keeping the price as 9 rupees, they arrive at the profit. Now, whichever gives the maximum profit, they go for that alternative. Correct? Or in other words, they have to choose between multiple alternatives, and that is called as decision making. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Now, for example, I told you, this is typically done through cost benefit analysis. Now, company A versus company B, which one you said you will prefer? Company B. Why? Because it gives you more, the benefit is more than the cost and all we saw. Similarly, that is actually coming under decision making. That's why we saw the concept of opportunity cost. You remember? And this opportunity cost comes under what? This decision making element only. Correct or not? Clear with this, guys? Are you all able to link this? Are you able to link this? Yes. So this particular aspect, first the company needs to take a decision. What do you mean by decision making? Choosing between multiple alternatives. Correct? Now, once they have chosen, let us say that fixing the selling price as 10 rupees is the best alternative. Now, what they do? They will set this as a target. Correct or not? They will set this as a target and they will see this is a target. This will be set. Now they will compare the actual performance of their employees and then based on this target means what? This is what you should do. Correct? Actuals means what? This is what you have achieved. So the difference between the target and the actuals are compared and the employees are rewarded or punished based on their performance. That is, their performance get evaluated. Yes. And once their performance are evaluated, if they have performed well, they get rewarded. If they have not performed well, they will get punished. Rewarded, an example, bonus or something, salary hike or something. Punished, maybe suspension or dismissal. Are you clear with this? So all these things also come under the ambit of costing. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you guys able to understand this? Yes, are you guys able to understand? More details about this we will be seeing as and when we proceed into the respective chapter. But as of now, I want you guys to get the big picture out of this. Yes, guys, you guys are clear with this, right? Now, what are the three objectives we have in our subject? Come on. Stock valuation, profit computation, decision making, control. Now, what is the name of our subject? Cost and management accounting. Basically, there are two words: cost accounting, management accounting. Clear with this? If you look at CMA course and all, yes, they have a separate paper for cost accounting. They have a separate paper for management accounting, right? Here, basically, we are learning everything together. Cost and management accounting are highly interrelated, or to put it in very understandable manner, objective number 1 is covered under cost accounting. Objective number 2 and 3 put together is covered under management accounting. Are you clear with this? That is, those aspects of this subject that achieves the objective of decision making and control is called as management accounting. Those aspects of this subject that helps achieve the objective of stock valuation and profit computation is called as cost accounting. We are going to see both, both these aspects. We are going to see all the three objectives. That's why this subject is called as cost and management accounting. Clear with this? There are some chapters like standard costing that comes under the category of control. There is a chapter called marginal costing that comes under the category of decision making. There is a chapter called cost sheet that comes under stock valuation and profit computation. There is a chapter called material cost. Some portion of the chapter achieves stock valuation, profit computation, some other portions in decision making, some other portions in control. So basically, not just chapter wise, you should drill down, concept wise you should see which objective it is achieving. Only then you will be able to look at the cost from the right perspective. Are you clear with this? This is a very, very important clarity that you need to hold before you enter into the subject. Are you clear with this, guys? And this part, control, is not a major aspect right now. This is more of theoretical part. We will be seeing it in standard costing. Standard costing is numerical, and the controllable and uncontrollable cost, what it means, that definition is a theoretical part. Predominant portion of the chapter, predominant portion of the subject revolves around stock valuation and profit computation, right? Around, out of 100%, if I were to put it in percentage, out of the 100% of the subject, I'm not talking about exam paper, out of the 100% of the concept covered in this subject, 60 to 70% of the concepts fit into the category of stock valuation, profit computation. The remaining predominant portion comes under decision making, and a very small aspect comes under control. Clear with this? I'm just telling this to you to give you a big picture so that you can get an idea about the subject. Predominant portion of our syllabus revolves around stock valuation, profit computation, and decision making. To some extent, control has a very limited role here. That is also equally important. Doesn't mean it's not important. Clear with this, guys? Right? Now, shall we get into the first limb of our objective of our subject, which is stock valuation, profit computation? Yes. Shall we get into this? So stock valuation, profit computation, what is the objective? The objective is to value the stock and arrive at the profit. So this is squarely covered within the ambit of what? Under the ambit of, this is covered under cost accounting, correct? Generally, this is under cost accounting. Decision making and control comes under management accounting, right? Fine. So now please note down. Please note down. I'm just writing the numbers here. Okay, I'm writing down 1A. So 1 is what? The objective under that classification A. What is 1A? Yes, come on, tell me. Expired costs and unexpired cost. Expired and unexpired. You please write down fully. You please write down fully. Expired costs or an unexpired cost. Okay, better you could have written it in a green ink. I'm sorry, if you haven't, then maybe next time you write it, not a problem. Maybe you can just pull an arrow and write green ink item. That will do. Okay. So just make sure all the headings you're writing it in green ink. Right. Now, I don't want to read this definition of expired, unexpired. The booklet definition. I don't want to read like that. Now, let's take an example. Please write it down. Write down an example. Let us say a company purchases 1000 kgs at the rate of rupees 10. Guys, write down quickly. Come on. See, we have to cover a lot of things. Pick up the pace. You need to pick up the pace, right? A company purchases 1000 kgs of a product by paying how much? 10 rupees, right? So how much does it cost? Come on, guys. Come on. Use your calculator. You don't use your calculator for this. Come on, now summa sonne you will start using. Okay, tell me how much. Fine. Write down 10,000. Next. Write down. It sold 800 kgs at the rate of rupees 20. How much is it? You need a calculator? You need a calculator? No calculator, don't touch it unnecessarily. How much is it? 16,000. Right? Leave a line gap and write down profit. You need a calculator? Tell me. Yes, write down. Rupees, how much? Come on guys, come on. 6,000. Yes, written down. Written down. Yes. So how much is the profit?
6,000.
How much is the profit? So take a red ink and strike it off. Take a red ink and strike it off. No, 6,000 is not the profit. Why? Why? Come on. Don't tell me all the, I don't want technical language. Common sense, you tell me. What is the issue here? Come on, come on, come on, guys. Come on, come on. What is the problem here? You feel it's right? No. Okay, you said something about closing stock. Okay, go on. Tell me. Tell me, what is the problem? Tell me.
It does not tell you what happened to the 200 kg.
See, basically, what is the mistake? You are comparing the revenue generated out of 800 kgs with the cost incurred for 1000 kgs. How is it correct? How is it correct? Can you compare the revenue generated out of 800 kgs with the cost incurred pertaining to 1000 kgs? Is it fair? Come on, is it fair? I have not yet sold 200 kgs, no? The 200 kgs will generate revenue later on. Only at the time when it is generating revenue, I can adjust the cost and arrive at the profit. Yes or no? Or in other words, do you know there is a concept called matching principle? In your accounts, matching principle. Correct. That is why we have concept of stock and all. Yes, I cannot compare the revenue generated from 800 kgs with the cost incurred for 1000 kgs. Now what will I do? What will I do? What will I do? First, I will segregate this 10,000 rupees into cost incurred in respect of 800 kgs, that is cost incurred in respect of units sold, cost incurred in respect of the 200 kgs remaining unsold. Yes or no? And only the cost incurred in respect of 800 kgs can be knocked off against the sales revenue to arrive at my profit. Yes or no? Yes or no? Guys, yes. This is the reason why you have stock in your P&L, right? So you have your P&L account here, right? You have all the expenses. From that you reduce your stock. So technically you have only the net cost incurred in respect of units sold that gets knocked off against your sales to arrive at your profit. Yes or no, guys? So basically write down, please write down, please write down. This is wrong, black ink only. This is incorrect or wrong. Why? Because, tell me. Because we are comparing the cost of 1000 kgs with the revenue from 800 kgs, which is against what? Against what concept? What principle? Which is against matching principle. Yes, are you clear with this? Guys, yes? Are you writing it down? Are you writing it down? Yes. So now what I will do, come on, make it fast, make it fast. So now what I will do, can I compare this 10,000 directly with 16,000? No, wait. This 10,000 I will bifurcate and I will have to find out of this 10,000 how much is the cost incurred for 8,000 units, how much is the cost incurred for 2,000 units. Correct? Come down and write. Come down and write. We will also prepare a P&L. Don't worry about it. Come down and write. So what is this rupees 10,000? What is this 10,000? Basically 1,000 kgs into, guys, at the rate of rupees 10. Correct? What will you do? Put a, so branch it into 2. Branch it into 2. What and what? Cost of goods sold. Yes or no? Guys, this is the cost pertaining to the units that I have sold. What is the cost incurred in respect of units sold? How many goods you've sold? 800 kgs. And every kg costs how much? Come on, at the rate of 10 rupees. So how much is the cost of goods sold? So this is going to be how much? Rupees 8,000, right? And what is on the other side? Cost of goods unsold, popularly called as cost of goods unsold, closing stock. Nothing great about it. It is closing stock, right? So pull an arrow, closing stock. How many kgs are unsold? 200 kgs. Every kg should be valued at same 10 rupees. So now tell me, what is the value of goods unsold, that is closing stock? This is going to be rupees 2000. Yes, guys. Yes. So now can I say this 8000 rupees is only comparable with my 16,000 rupees of revenue? Yes or not? Guys, yes. Why? Because only then you will be comparing the revenue from 800 kgs with the cost from 800 kgs. Guys, yes or no? Right? Or in other words, can I say, to the extent of 8000 only, it gets knocked off against my current year revenue to arrive at the profit? Yes or no? Or in other words, can I say, this 8000 rupees dies in the current year, or it expires in the current year? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can I say this 8000 rupees gets knocked off against my current year revenue to arrive at my profit? So can I say this 8000 rupees is an expired cost? Why? Because it expires in the current year, it dies fully in the current year, gets knocked off against my current year revenue to arrive at my profit. Yes or no? Right? So I will call this as, put an arrow and write down expired cost. Pull an arrow and write down expired cost. Right? Whereas this 2000 rupees, what happens? It escapes from the current year and it goes as a closing stock of the current year, becomes the opening stock of the next year. Yes? Or can I say this escapes the next year? It is an unexpired cost. Why? Because this 2000 rupees is a cost pertaining to 200 kgs. Correct? I will not consider this 200 rupees as a cost today for arriving at my profit. Only when I am selling those 200 kgs, against that revenue only I need to knock off this 2000 rupees. Yes or no? Right? So till the time I sell this 2000 units, it is not my cost. So I will transfer it to the next year. It escapes. Correct or not? Right? So I call this as what? Unexpired cost. Are you clear with this? Are you all clear with this? Very important understanding. All these things are theoretically mentioned in the study material. No. Learn it conceptually. Automatically, any kind of theory you can do by yourself. Remember, this time the institute has also brought in MCQs for new syllabus. Concept driven. It will be only concept driven. Without knowing all these concepts, you cannot attack it. Right? Now, so tell me, can I arrive at this conclusion? Can I say profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. Write the word expired alone in red ink. Expired costs. Generally, we say sales minus costs is our profit. No. Sales minus expired. Only the word expired you write it in red ink. See, you should not write everything in red ink. If you write everything in red ink, then the value of red ink will go. Only that word should pop up. Okay. Sales minus expired cost. In this case, what is the sales revenue? Come on. What's the sales revenue? Come on, guys, tell me. What's the sales revenue? 16,000. Yes, write down the figure. I told you, learn like a child. Don't worry about anything. Bring the child mode. Then expired cost. How much is it? 8,000 rupees. Yes or no? So how much is the profit? 8,000 rupees. Are you clear with this? So basically, profit stands for what? Sales minus expired cost. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes, you guys are able to follow this, right? Sir, how will this appear if I were to prepare my trading and P&L account, right? Sales will come here. How much is it? Tell me the figures. 16,000, correct? Right? Now, expenses, how much I will book? The expenses for incurred for the entire 10,000 units. How much is it? How much is it? Overall cost. Total pa? 10,000 rupees, correct? So what we will do is 10,000 rupees will be debited in the P&L, correct or not? But what we do, from this 10,000, we remove 2,000 that comes as a closing stock, correct? So net of what gets knocked off against my sales is 10,000 minus 2,000, which is only 8,000. That is only called as expired cost. Are you clear with this? So basically, my total value, the total cost minus my unexpired cost gives you my expired cost, correct? Or total minus expired gives you the unexpired, whichever way it's a balancing figure. Are you clear with this? Now are you able to understand why closing stock is appearing on the credit side? Reason is, this is for matching concept. I cannot compare this entire 10,000 with 16,000 and say my profit is 16,000, 6,000. No. From this 10,000, this is pertaining to different volume. This is pertaining to different volume. So with respect to the unsold units, take the cost separately from the credit side. That is, increase in the credit side is as good as reduction from the debit side. Correct or not? Yes, you net it off. That is the cost incurred in respect of units sold, and only if you net it off, you will arrive at your profit. Are you clear with this, guys? So basically, you understand what is the important thing that you need to understand. Profit means what? Sales minus expired cost. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? And what do you mean by expired cost? The cost that expires or gets knocked off against the current year revenue is called as expired cost. Unexpired cost means what? That escapes to the next year. The cost that escapes the next year is called as unexpired cost. Now you read this, all this cost classification, I have given it. Just please take your handbook. Please take your handbook. I've given you all these things here. Not the examples. I've just given you. See, A1, A2, A3, A4 and all I've given. Similarly, B1, B2, B3 and C1. All these things here we did horizontally. There I've given you vertically. That's about it. Now, the above cost classification has been done by the faculty for the logical understanding of the subject. So please don't compare. Why have I written this? Don't compare this with your study material and say, sir, I couldn't find this anywhere. This is conceptual viewpoint of understanding into the subject, getting into the subject. Clear with this, right? Now, in that A1 is what? Expired cost versus unexpired cost. I have not mentioned any examples and all. That's why I asked you to note it down here. Look, expired costs are those costs which are charged against revenue. Now you are able to understand. Yes, unexpired costs are those costs which are carried forward the next accounting period through stocks. Are you clear with this, guys? Now you're able to understand this, right? Now, sir, what costs will expire? What costs will not expire? Sir, I don't understand. Fine. Now, expired cost means what? The costs that gets expired in the current year, knocked off against my current year revenue. Correct? Okay. Sir, what are all the costs that will expire? What are all the costs that will not expire? For us to know this, we need to see the second part, that is A2. What is A2? Product cost and period cost. A2 or call it as what? B1. Okay. Whichever way it is, A2 or B1, whatever it is. We need to know what is product cost and period cost. Don't worry, I will give an example. With this example, we will understand. Clear? Fine. So let's get started. Shall we, guys? Yes. Now, go to the second part of it. That is 1B. 1B. What is it? Come on. What is it, guys? Product cost and period cost. Now, for you to understand what is expired and unexpired, you should know what is product and period. Okay? It is all interlinked. I will connect the chain. You don't worry about it. Product and period cost. Now, please take down this example. Please take down this example. Please take down this example. Example. Material costs. Material cost. Write it quickly, guys. Rupees 50,000. I'm just giving you an example. Okay. Material cost rupees 50,000. Wages rupees. Sorry, this is not 5,000. This is 50,000. Wages is rupees 30,000. Then administrative expenses. I will tell you what these things are. Let us say this is rupees 10,000 and selling expenses is another 10,000 rupees. Total cost is how much? Rupees 1 lakh. Right? Total cost is how much? Rupees 1 lakh. You guys have written this down, right? Also write down selling price is rupees 15. And when I say selling price, is always per unit. Correct? Selling price nale per unit down, right? Then production. Production, I'm using a short form, PRODN. You can write it fully or you can even use the abbreviation. Production. Let us say 10,000 units got produced and sales. How many units got sold? Let's say 8,000 units got sold. The same example. Same example. But what is the extra part I have given you here? This 1 lakh, I have given you the breakup. Correct? Pona samay we saw the same thing, no? 10,000 at the rate of, or 1,000 at the rate of 10 we saw. Okay, in the previous sums we saw 1,000 at the rate of 10. Okay, I have just given you all these things. Sir, what are all these things? Now, again, a very, very important discussion. Imagine that there are three places in a company. There are three places in a company. What are the three places that are there in the company? Guys, very important for understanding the subject. In every company, if you see, there will be three locations. What are the three locations? There will be a place called factory. What happens in a factory? What happens in a factory? Production, manufacturing activity, correct? So production activity happens. Then there is something called as corporate office. Have you heard of corporate office? Corporate office, that is AC room will be there. Corporate office, they will be sitting somewhere. It is a team where all this board of directors, the managing director and all will be sitting. What work do they do? They do the administrative work. So in a corporate office, if you see there's a company called MRF. They might be having a plant somewhere in the outskirts of the city, but their corporate office will be somewhere in the heart of the city, inside the city. There will not be production and all happening, right? They will be having an AC office where the accounts team, where all these the top management, the board of directors and all, they will be sitting. Are you clear with this? So basically, for administrative activity, it happens in a corporate office. Clear with this? And then there is a place called sales depot. What happens in a sales depot? What happens in a sales depot? Selling activity, sales activity will happen. Or in other words, you can even say the showrooms are there. Bata, this company called Bata, the footwear company. Yes, they have showrooms here, correct? What does these showroom do? They only do the sales activity. Is manufacturing done there? No. Is administrative activity done there? Administrative activity, for example, I'm saying fixing of selling price, whether to give an offer or not. Will these guys decide on all that? No, it is being done elsewhere. What they do, it's a sales tip. Clear? So in any company, you visualize there will be three locations. What are the three locations? Factory, the place where the production activity happens. Corporate office, the place where the administrative decisions are taken. And sales depot is the place where your selling activities are done. Clear? Now, for me to produce this 10,000 units, out of this I have sold 8,000, 2,000 remains as a closing stock. Forget that. For me to produce this 10,000 units, what is the total cost I have incurred? 1 lakh rupees. Correct? Guys, yes, answer please. Yes. This 1 lakh, what are all the costs I have incurred? Material 50,000, labor, wages is 30,000, admin 10,000, selling expenses 10,000. Now, can you tell me this material cost where I will be incurring? In which location of the company will I be incurring? Material cost. Logically think. Where will you incur? Factory. Wages. Where will you incur? Factory. Why? Because the raw material needs to be purchased. It needs to be converted into a final product. So can I say in my production, in my factory area, 50,000 plus 30,000, that is 80,000 rupees is incurred inside my factory area. Yes or no? Guys, yes or no? Yes. Right? Then administrative expense of 10,000 rupees. Where is it incurred? Guys, where is it incurred? Corporate office. So can I say 10,000 rupees is incurred in my administrative area, right? And in my sales depot, how much is incurred? Another 10,000 rupees, which is given, right? Another 10,000 rupees. Yes, guys. Yes. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? Now, fine. So remember, always there are three locations in a factory. Okay, so factory, in a company, there are factory, corporate office, and your sales depot. Clear with this, guys, right? Now you tell me, what will be your profit? How will you compute? So 10,000, okay, so 8,000 units I have sold, 8,000 units into 15, correct? That will be my sales value. Yes or no? Right? That will be my sales value. Now this 1 lakh, what we need to do? Can I adjust this 1 lakh directly with my sales revenue? Can I directly knock off the sales? No. Why? Why? Because this 1 lakh is the cost pertaining to 10,000 units. What we need to do? We need to segregate this into cost incurred for the goods sold and the cost incurred for the goods unsold. That is my closing stock. Correct or not? So come down and write. Please write down. Put in the center 1 lakh rupees. What is this 1 lakh rupees? The total cost incurred for goods sold or entire production? Guys, this 1 lakh rupees is incurred for what? The entire units produced. Correct? Right? Branch it into two. Come on, tell me what and what. Guys, tell me what and what. What and what? Exactly. Cost of goods sold and and closing stock. Correct? Yes. Now 1 lakh rupees, can I say this is a cost incurred for how many units? 10,000 units, correct? Or in other words, can I say this 1 lakh is nothing but 10,000 units at the rate of 10, correct? That is, per unit cost is how much? 10 rupees. Yes or no? Right? So now cost of goods sold, how much is it? How will you calculate cost of goods sold? How many units got sold? Guys, 8,000 units, right? Every unit incurs a cost of how much? Come on, rupees 10. So what is my cost of goods sold? Come on, 8,000 into 10, how much is it? 80,000, right? Right? And now on the other side, closing stock. How many units of closing stock are there? 2,000 units. Every unit incur a cost of 10 rupees. So what's the value of my closing stock? How much is this? Rupees 20,000. Are you clear with this? Now this 80,000, pull an arrow, call it as what? What cost is it? What cost is it? No. What cost is this? Expired cost. Yes, this is called as expired cost, right? Whereas your closing stock, it is called as what? It is called as what? Unexpired cost. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Are you all able to understand? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is this correct? No.
We're not studying what expired.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, is this segregation correct? Is this classification correct? That's all I'm asking. Is this classification correct? I'm not asking what we are studying now. Expired, unexpired, product period. Forget about that. Is this correct? Whatever we have done, is it correct? Sure. It's 100% it is correct. Take a red ink and strike it off visibly. Strike it off visibly. I'm not wasting your time. Please strike it off visibly. What was the problem here? What was the problem here? The problem is, write down, the stock valuation was incorrect. Sir, what do you mean by this? I will tell you. Yes, done. Done. Now, guys, you would have studied in your accounts. What? Trading P&L account. Correct? We have studied. Okay. First, trading account. In trading account, you will have sales here. Some figure. Yes. Then you have all the direct expenses, that is factory expenses, all the direct expenses incurred in the factory, that will come here. That is your manufacturing expenses will come here. Yes or no? Right? Closing stock is there in trading account or in P&L account? Trading account or P&L account? It is there in trading account. Correct? With this, what you do, you arrive at the balancing figure. Call it as what? Call it as what? Gross profit. Now, this gross profit is being carried forward to your P&L account. Correct? Correct? And from this, you reduce all other costs. Typically, in our example, your administrative expenses, your selling expenses are knocked off from your gross profit to arrive at your net profit. Yes or no? Have you ever wondered why closing stock is appearing in your trading account and not in your P&L account? Why should the closing, if I put this closing stock here also, ultimately my net profit will not change. Yes or no? Why? Because always remember, thumb rule this is, closing stock should be valued at manufacturing costs. Are you clear with this? It should not be valued at total cost. So it should be valued at what? Manufacturing cost. What do you mean by manufacturing cost? Simple, cost incurred inside the factory. Any cost incurred outside your factory. Outside your factory means what? Any cost incurred in your corporate office or in your sales depot should not be considered. Any cost incurred inside the factory can be considered. Simple, location wise we should consider. Are you clear with this, guys? So now what we need to do here, please just focus. I will let you write this down. I will let you note this down. So what we need to do is, now here you tell me, only the manufacturing cost gets segregated into my cost of goods sold and closing stock. Yes or no? Whereas can I say my entire administrative and selling expenses, that is non-manufacturing costs, are fully expiring always. There is no question of classifying my administrative and selling expenses as what? As your cost of goods sold and your closing stock. Yes or no? That is, this cost of goods sold and closing stock, every unit should only be valued at manufacturing cost. This admin and selling and all, it fully expires in the current year itself. There is no question of taking a portion of admin and selling and plugging it in your stock value and letting it escape. Yes or no? Or in other words, can I say, now what is the manufacturing cost in this particular question? What is the manufacturing cost in this particular question? 80,000. Yes or no? What is this 80,000 we got? 80,000 is the cost incurred inside the factory, that's called as manufacturing cost. Now you tell me, for me to classify costs into cost of goods sold and closing stock, I need to calculate the cost per unit. Yes or no? Why? I know that I have 10,000 kgs or 10,000 units. I know that I have sold 8,000. I have not sold 2,000. Correct? But each of these units should be attached a cost figure value to it. So unless and until I know the cost per unit, I cannot achieve the objective of stock valuation profit computation. Why? Because only if I know the cost per unit, I can segregate the manufacturing cost into cost of goods sold and my closing stock, and then only I can find out my profit. Anyways, my admin and selling expenses will anyways enter into my, it is fully expired cost. It is a P&L item. Yes or no? Whereas this is a trading item, and only trading item needs to be segregated into what? Into my cost of goods sold and closing stock. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? So can I say cost per unit? Whenever I am saying, it generally means the total manufacturing cost. Total, take a red ink and write down, please, you can write it down now. Total manufacturing cost. The word manufacturing alone should be in red ink. Total manufacturing cost divided by what? Divided by total units produced or sold. Come on, why produced? Logically think. Tell me. Correct. In the numerator we have the cost incurred to manufacture. No, correct. Obviously in the denominator you should only have what? The cost incurred for you to produce how many units only, because you are not incurring the cost only with respect to the units sold. You are also incurring the cost in respect of the units unsold. Correct. Or in other words, units sold plus unsold is nothing but total production. Are you clear with this? So divided by total production. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Now in this case, what is my total manufacturing cost? Can I say, in this case, material cost? How much is it, guys? How much is it? Come on, material cost, how much is it? Yes, write down 50,000. How much is your wage cost? Yes, write down 30,000. So total it up, total manufacturing cost, how much is it, guys? 80,000, right? Now what I will do, this 80,000 only I will classify it into what and what? Cost of goods sold and closing stock. Yes or no? Yes. Guys, are you clear with this? So what is my cost per unit in this case? It is going to be 80,000 rupees divided by what? Divided by what? 10,000 units, which means for every unit I should value it at a cost of 8 rupees and not 10 rupees. Are you clear with this? Why? Because the admin and selling and all, it anyways enters into my P&L account. There is, my stock should be valued only at manufacturing cost. Every unit that is remaining unsold should not be given a share of selling and admin, because selling and admin costs are incurred in that year. It will expire in that year itself. Are you clear with this? The moment you consider that for stock valuation, it means that you are carrying it forward to the next year also. Guys, are you all clear with this? Are you all clear with this? So now what happens? So now you tell me. So put it in the center. So write down 80,000 rupees. Sorry, 80,000 rupees. 80,000 rupees within bracket. How did you get this 80,000? Can anyone tell me?
10,000 units.
10,000 units, each valued at, please put it in a red ink. It's valued at 8 rupees. What is this 8 rupees? Manufacturing cost per unit. So when I say cost per unit, generally it's called as manufacturing cost per unit. Are you clear with this? Now this I can segregate into what and what? Come on guys, this I can segregate into what and what? Yes, COGS, cost of goods sold, and closing stock. COGS, how many units have been sold out of this? Come on guys, how many units? 8,000 units. Now each of these units should be given a cost of how much? 8 rupees. Yes, into rupees 8. How much is this? 8 8 is 64. So it's going to be how much? 64,000 rupees. Yes. Whereas closing stock, how many units are there? 2,000 units, each valued at the rate of rupees 8. So this gives you a cost of how much? Rupees 16,000. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? And now can I say 64,000 rupees is my expired cost? Yes or no? Yes. Right? And whereas 16,000 rupees is what? What is it? It is unexpired cost. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? Guys, are you all able to understand this? Now, sir, what happened to that 20,000 rupees? What happened to that 20,000 rupees? What is the 20,000 rupees? The 20,000 rupees is administrative expenses and selling. Correct? So, admin plus selling expenses. How much is it? 20,000 rupees. Can I say that is fully expiring in the current year itself? It is a P&L item. Yes or no? Guys, yes or no? So can I say that is a fully unexpired cost? Are you clear with this? Puriyartha, are you able to understand this? So if I were to put this in a format of trading and P&L account, so please write this in a blue ink, you write down. This is not required for exam, but for your understanding purpose. Trading account and P&L account. So let's put it as a trading and P&L account. Trading and P&L account. Now guys, I want the figures from you. Trading account, first credit side, by sales, how much is it? Tell me what's the sales figure?
15 per unit, 8,000.
15 into 8,000. Calculate and tell me how much is it? 15 into 8,000. Come on, take your calculator. Come on guys, make it fast. How much is it? You're always reducing 1 0. It's 1,20,000. Right? 1,20,000. Don't make this careless mistake. 1,20,000. Ideally, you should write that in a red ink. Okay, 1,20,000. Then on the debit side, 2 material costs. What is the total material cost? Total material cost. Only the cost of material cost for goods sold or entire material cost? Why? Because the cost incurred in respect of unsold anyways will be coming here and I will remove it. So this is the total cost. Are you clear with this? Very good. So it's going to be 50,000, right? Then 2 wages. How much is it? How much? 30,000. Guys, there is no concept of trading P&L and all in our subject costing. I am just putting it in a representative manner so that you can link it with your accounts, right? So now, by closing stock, how much is my closing stock? Guys, how much is my closing stock? Have we valued it? Yes, we have valued it. Stock is valued at 16,000. Yes, guys, 16,000 rupees. Yes. So now tell me, what is my gross profit? Or in other words, can I say gross profit is nothing but my total cost minus closing stock gives me the cost of goods sold, correct? 50 plus 30 is 80. 80 minus 16. 80 minus 16 is how much? 50 plus 30 is 80,000, right? 80,000 is the total cost. Out of that, 16,000 is my closing stock. So 80 minus 16, how much is it? 64,000. 64,000 is my cost of goods sold. That is what we got here. Yes or no? Right? And sales minus cost of goods sold. 1,20,000 minus 64,000. How much is it coming out to? 56,000. This is going to be my gross profit. Yes or no? Guys, are you clear with this? In accounts, generally, when we are preparing an accounts, whatever is the balancing figure, it's a habit. It's an accounting hygiene you need to follow. We just take a pencil and we put a circle here. Why? Because if you take a pencil and put a circle and put B/F, so you are telling the examiner that this is a balancing figure. Clear? It is generally an accounting hygiene. You can follow it in your accounts also. Sir, will the examiner give marks for this, or he will think I have done something? Nothing of that sort. Make sure that you are not putting this in your ink. That is, in your pen itself, you are not doing this circle and all. If you do it, then the examiner will think you have written the exam and you have also corrected your answer sheet. So don't do that. Take a pencil, put a circle and put a balancing figure. One look, it gives the examiner an impression that, okay, so this figure, he has arrived at a balancing figure. That's all. Clear with this? Now what happens, guys? What happens? What happens? Yes, now this gross profit gets carried forward here. Sorry, brought forward here. By gross profit, how much is it? Come on, 56,000. Yes. Now what happens here? In this case, what happens? Only my admin and selling expenses are P&L account items. Yes or no? Non-manufacturing expenses. Write down. Two admin expenses. How much is it?
10,000.
Come on, guys. 10,000 rupees. Then two selling expenses. How much is it? 10,000 rupees. So from 56 minus 10, how much is your net profit? Come on, guys. How much is your net profit? It's going to be 36,000. Again, pencil circle. That's a balancing figure. And now you have prepared your P&L account. Are you clear with this? Yes, guys. Are you clear with this? Now, sir, why are we studying this in product cost, period cost? Simple, guys. What do you mean by product cost? Product costs are those costs which are considered for the purpose of stock valuation, or in other words, can I directly say product cost means your manufacturing expenses? Yes, guys, yes. Product cost refers to what? The costs that are considered for the purpose of valuing every unit of your product. Are you clear with this? That's why it's called as a product cost. Or in other words, can I say all the manufacturing costs are called as product cost? Correct. What do you mean by manufacturing cost? Simple, any cost incurred inside a factory. Are you clear with this? Yes. Whereas period cost means what? All the costs that are incurred outside the factory. That is typically your administrative and selling expenses. Are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes, you guys are able to understand. So please write down. Take a black ink and write down. Product cost and period cost. Product cost, branch it into two. Basically, product cost is what? Nothing but manufacturing cost, correct? So manufacturing costs are classified into two. What? Cost of goods sold and closing stock. Yes, wait. Write the cost of goods sold here. You can also write it on the left side. I'm telling it for a reason. Cost of goods sold. You write it on the right side. Correct? This is what? This is your closing stock. Correct? Now you tell me. Now I will add one more thing. Cost of goods sold, it expires in the current year. Yes or no? Write down. It is expired costs. Closing stock, does it expire in the current year? Guys, it is an unexpired cost. Yes. Whereas period costs, can I say is it an expired or an unexpired cost? Guys, period costs, expired or unexpired? Fully it gets knocked off in my P&L account. It's a P&L item, correct? So you just pull an arrow directly and connect it to expired cost. Are you clear with this? And now, can I say, what do you mean by a product cost? What do you mean by an expired and unexpired? So first discussion, 1A was expired, unexpired. 1B, right now we are studying product cost and period cost. Why are we studying? I'm just giving you a conclusion. Can I say product cost expires to the extent of cost of goods sold, whereas period cost expires fully? Yes or no? Right, guys? Can I say, I'm repeating, product cost nothing but manufacturing cost. Product cost expires only to the extent of cost of goods sold, whereas period cost expires fully. Are you clear with this? Yes. So first classification, expired cost, unexpired cost. For us to know what is expired and unexpired, we had to see what is a product and period. That is what we studied here. Are you clear with this? Basically, what do you mean by a product cost? The cost that is considered for the purpose of stock valuation. Clear? And what is the cost that is considered for the purpose of stock valuation? Your full manufacturing cost, entire cost incurred inside the factory. Whereas your non-manufacturing cost, called as period cost, is nothing but your administrative and selling expenses. So now basically your period cost is a P&L item, product cost is a trading account item. You can have it like this. Are you clear? And always remember, only a manufacturing cost can be classified into cost of goods sold and closing stock, whereas period cost, no such classification has to be made. It has to die fully in the current year. It has to expire fully in the current year. Are you clear with this? Yes, are you clear with this? Let's quickly catch up a difference between product and period cost, and with that we will conclude the session, right? So please write down product cost, period cost, product cost, period cost. Done? Shall we get started?
Yes.
Right. First, now you tell me, guys, which cost is considered for the purpose of stock valuation, product or period? Product or period, right? Write down. Considered for stock valuation. Considered for stock valuation. I am writing short form SV. You write it fully, stock valuation. What about period costs? What about period costs? Is it considered or not?
Profit.
No. Is it considered or not for stock valuation? Period cost? No. Write down not considered for stock valuation. That's about it. Okay. Next point of difference. Now, product cost comprises of what? What is a product cost? Exactly. So all manufacturing costs, please write down, guys. This clarity, you will know the importance of this once we proceed into the subject. All manufacturing costs are product costs. How about period costs? What comprises of period costs? Yes, write down administrative, admin and selling expenses, or admin and selling costs are period costs. Or you can also say non-manufacturing costs are called as period costs. Clear with this? So non-manufacturing cost means what? Any cost incurred outside the factory, as simple as that. Clear with this, guys? Yes, right? Shall we go to the next one? Next one? Third point. Now product cost, you tell me, product cost expires fully. True or false? True or false? Be attentive. Product cost expires fully. True or false? No. Then what is the right answer?
To the extent of cost.
Product cost expires to the extent of cost of goods sold, remains unexpired to the extent of closing stock. Period cost expires fully. Excellent. Write down. Product cost, write down, expires to the extent of COGS, COGS, and remains unexpired to the extent of what? Closing stock. How about the period cost? Expires fully, right? Last point alone, you write it in a blue ink, because this should not be written in exam. This is only for your understanding. Any guess? Exactly. I told you that there is no such thing called as trading and P&L account in our subject. This is for your understanding. Product cost, where does it appear? Come on, guys. Write down in a blue ink. Appears in trading account. Okay. Appears in trading account. How about period cost? Come on, guys. How about period cost? Where does it appear? Appears in P&L account. Are you clear with this? Now, guys, any difficulty till now? Yes. So now you guys are clear with this. It is as simple. Step by step, you just take one lecture at a time. Step by step, you move forward. I'm telling you, you can actually fall in love with the subject. It's going to be very, very, very easy. Till now, did I discuss any rocket science with you guys? Very simple, right? Whatever we know, I just put it in a more sensible manner, and that's about it. Clear with this? So our subjects has how many objectives? Come on, 3 objectives. What are the 3 objectives we have? Stock valuation, profit computation, decision making, control, right? Now we saw that for the purpose of achieving the objective of stock valuation, profit computation, you should look at cost from the perspective of expired cost and unexpired cost. For you to know what cost expires and what cost remain expired, what cost expires and what cost remain unexpired, you had to see what do you mean by a product cost, period cost. What did we see here? Product cost expires to the extent of cost of goods sold. Period cost expires fully. Are you clear with this? Now, what is the next classification? 1C that I have told you. What is that? Manufacturing, administrative, selling. So basically, now the next part that we will be seeing in the next lecture is what? Product cost, period cost. Product cost means what? Any cost incurred inside the factory. So that is nothing but manufacturing cost. So we will be seeing what are all the manufacturing costs, material, labor, expenses and all we'll be seeing. Non-manufacturing cost, period cost typically comprises of your administrative and selling. That is the next part. Are you clear with this? Basically, for you to know what is expired and unexpired, you should know what is product and period. For you to know what is product and period, you should know what is manufacturing, administrative, selling and distribution. Are you clear with this? The fourth leg, I asked you to leave 2 lines and write down. That is a separate thing altogether. I will explain it in the next lecture. Any doubts till now? Any doubts till now? Are you clear with this, guys? Fine. So thank you all so much. Please revise whatever we have covered till now. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.